Is There a Doctor in the House is an interesting episode of Arthur for two reasons. It's the second segment of the 8th episode of the 7th season, and it's interesting both from the children's perspective and from the parents' perspective. It starts off with Arthur's mother feeling quite unwell, and she ends up going to bed, and their father's obviously out at work, so DW and Arthur decide to try and take care of the house a little bit because it's got a little bit messy with their mother in bed. And then their father starts to get sick, and they quickly realise that looking after the house is a very big responsibility. And I love this for several reasons. First of all, it's showing children that their parents do a lot of work, and that being an adult isn't all a bed of roses. It takes a lot of effort to keep the house clean, to look after the family, to make sure everything gets done, both in terms of the parents as a unit, but also as the mother or whichever parent is doing the majority of the housework if one well, I say if one goes to work. We also have to acknowledge that Arthur's mother does actually have a job. She is an accountant, and yet she also seems to be the one who keeps the house tidy and clean, as we see with the house getting messy when their father is away at work. So it definitely shows that maybe some people pull their weight more than others, but ultimately it's about showing children that their parents do a lot of work, and that if their parents are sick, things are going to get left neglected. But Arthur and DW do the admirable thing and try and tidy up the house and look after everything. Things don't go to plan despite their best efforts. And I think it's also important to show that if you are sick, or if you can't look after your children temporarily for whatever reason, don't just leave them to run the household, because things will be a disaster. Definitely call in reinforcements, get another adult, find somebody else to help out. There's no shame in asking for help, and this episode really highlights that. So I think it's pretty good. It's definitely one that can be analysed from different angles, showing just how much parents do to look after the house, sometimes one parent more than the other, but also that children can't really be left to their own devices. First of all, I would not trust a child to clean a baby's diaper, Kate's nappy. I wouldn't leave a child to do that at all. And if you're bedbound and you have a young baby in the house who you can't look after, maybe you should call another adult as well. So there are definitely lessons for everybody. I thought it was quite a nice episode. Not my favourite, it is quite sickly, and it did make me feel kind of nauseous at one point. But it's a very chaotic episode in a very pleasing way, and I thought it was pretty entertaining and definitely well done.